Grand rising, powerful being. The law of non-resistance. Did you know that the secret is turning the other cheek? Like, instead of letting it be something you fight against, you can let it roll off your shoulder. Be like water, my friend. Let it roll off your shoulder. Sometimes the shots thrown at you, when you give more attention to the shots, it hits you. But if you learn how to let it flow, if you learn how to not resist, because whatever you resist will persist. If you learn not to have a struggle, you're gonna struggle less. You're gonna free yourself from the fight, from always dealing with things, people, situations in a way that you always putting forth a lot of your energy out. So if you want to be at peace, we got to learn how to manage our energy. The more energy we expel, the more energy we let out, is the more energy we lose. So let's grow. So, the law of non-resistance. My name is Edward Giles, aka the Holistic Motivator, and I'm grateful to be here once again to bring you another personal development podcast. Every day I do this podcast and I add value to the world by sharing a piece of my story, the journey, what I've learned, how I'm growing through spiritual concept, mental health tips, how to move, breathe, journal, meditate so you can change your life. So that's pretty much what you're going to get by listening to Ed Talks Daily on the daily basis. Today I want to talk about the law of non-resistance. What is that? What does it mean to not resist? There's a concept that says whatever you resist. There's a quote that says this: whatever you resist will persist. And I thought that was a pretty dope way of putting it, because it seems like whatever you try to fight is what you're focused on, therefore is what keeps persisting in your life. So like a lot of times we think when we fight we're going to win the fight, but when we fight we let the situation win our attention. Fights causes attention. You give your attention to the thing you're fighting. So the law of non-resistance says if I fight against, I'm only going to add more fire to it. So the law of non-resistance is, let me not put forth energy that I need for my own wellness. The law of non-resistance is about knowing how to respond and not react. It's about knowing how to let the shots thrown at you roll off your shoulders in a way, and you're not necessarily getting hit and beat up by somebody's words or bursts. Let me give you an example of the law of non-resistance in action. So let's say you was at the grocery store and somebody just try you. You know what it means when somebody try you, right? Hopefully you tapped into that. What does it mean when somebody try you? When somebody try you is they try your ego. They try your sense of importance. You feel like, this person has no respect, right? This person didn't show me what I'm worth. They didn't treat me like they should have treated. So when somebody try you, they literally get a chance to get under your skin. Most people don't wear your shoes when they try you. They just get underneath your skin and they become you. You know, if somebody wore your shoes, they'd be more conscious. They would have what they call empathy, sympathy, the ability to relate. But we don't usually deal with people like that. People who are relatable, who are conscious, who are enlightened. We normally deal with people who will get underneath your skin. Now, why is that? Well, because a lot of people are living unconscious, including you. Let's not forget that you get underneath some people's skins too. And so do I. Now, why? Because a lot of times we get in our body, we get in our memory, and we're not in our conscious being. And because a lot of us live out of our memories, sometimes we act out. We act out of fear. We act out of anger. We act out of worry. We act out of calling for love by doing something that may get underneath somebody's skin. And so you're at the grocery store and somebody tries you. How are you going to respond? Are you going to react to the situation, or will you choose to respond? And what do I mean? Responding is saying, oh, I'm not going to let this person get underneath my skin, the largest organ, and make me feel a certain type of way and have goosebumps. I'm going to observe what's happening instead of seeking to be right in this situation. Now, I might put this person in their place by speaking my truth, allowing my throat chakra to express yourself. But at the same time, you know what? I'm not going to act out on this person. I'm going to respond. I'm going to look inside of me. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to listen to see what this person is really saying. I'm going to give them a chance to express themselves as I will have my time to talk. So this person is pissed off at you. Take a deep breath. You look at them. And if you've been enlightened to the point where you can smile, you smile. If not, you mean mug. It's okay. Wherever you're at, be there. But you are conscious enough to notice what's happening. And instead of reacting, trying to go against, practice the law of non-resistance. Don't resist what they're saying. Listen to what they're saying. Don't per se try to say they're wrong, but really just tap in and hear them. And you can even repeat what they're saying. So you're saying that A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So you're saying that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Is that what you're saying? Then this person like, but yeah, I am saying that. What are you trying to say? Okay. So based on what I'm hearing from you, you are feeling, no, what are you really telling me? Okay. Here's my piece on it. My situation is, this is what it is, and so be it. I accept it. It is so. I can't really change it. This is where we're at right now. But I love you, so let's move forward. The law of non-resistance is, I'm not going against you. I'm on your side. I'm not necessarily trying to defend you or me. But at the same time, my spirit knows we want to get this relationship in one accord. So what we're doing here is, I'm not resisting what you're saying and what you're feeling. I am just listening. I'm hearing you. I also have how I feel about it, and I express that. So you give the person a chance to express themselves. You express yourself. Expression frees the spirit. It's like, yo, I got a chance to speak my truth. But when we both try to shut each other up, that's the sure way of being in a disagreement. It's hard to get an agreement when you're both shutting each other off. It's hard to be in agreement when you're both throwing shots back and forth. So when you throw shots back and forth, you don't get on one accord, you beat each other to death. Spiritually, mentally, in all types of ways. We don't want to beat each other to death. We want to breathe life into each other. The law of non-resistance yields more life. So I don't fight the fire of the forest with fire. I need to get in a different element. So emotions relate to the different elements. So in a fiery situation, why would you bring more fire? As you bring more fire to the situation, you're firing yourself up and the situation. Now they're getting fired up, and that's not serving any of the parties in this situation. So the law of non-resistance says, let the water flow, and don't try to stand and block it. Because when it flows, it fully lives on wisdom. Being. What does that mean? Flow. Fully living on wisdom. That's my acronym. Boom. Trademark. Registered. But here's what I'm saying. The law of non-resistance is a concept also in the Chinese system. And there is this thing called push hands. When somebody tries to push you, you can actually absorb the push. This is Tai Chi. Push hands says you don't fight a punch with a punch, you fight it with an absorption. So as somebody push you, you can actually take it slow instead of tightening yourself up, this makes you weaker than this. This actually, if somebody pushes you and you tighten up, you're gonna fall. But if somebody pushes you and you absorb the punch, you're gonna absorb it. What happens is now their energy, they become more weak the more they push you. So this is a real thing in Tai Chi, but it's also a real thing in real life. The more somebody pushes you, the more they exhaust themselves. So in fighting, there's a concept called let the other man burn himself out. Let him. Floyd Mayweather got this down packed. Now he's not using that same technique, but what he's doing is this. He's like, I'm going to let you take a bunch of punches at me. But what I'm going to learn is I'm going to learn how to bring my shoulder into it, how to absorb it, how to move out of the way. So you got to do like Floyd Mayweather. Now here's what the other people want, right? I was listening to E.T. He's like, man, I like Sugar Ray Leonard. I like Muhammad Ali. I like Mike Tyson. He's like, he like the heavy hitters. I was like, yeah, I like, but you know, I like the strategy. I like the absorption. I like the Bruce Lees. Why? Because I like flowing like water, like wind. First of all, that's my element, right? I was born in February, Aquarius, wind in the air. So you're thinking about this. So you're saying the law of non-resistance works both in the physical and spiritual and social plane if you learn how to practice it well. So somebody punches you, the first thing is notice the punch. Notice the punch. So what is that? Notice the ego inflicted pain that somebody tried to throw at you. So what's a punch? I feel hurt, so I want to get you hurt. So I'm going to put that in a verbal abuse. I'm going to throw the shots at you. I'm going to pick up all types of things, either from the past, to try to get you to get wild up. Sometimes I will bring something that I know is a trauma for you because I want to get you wild up. People do that unconsciously. They don't even know that they're throwing these at you. And then when you take those in and you take it personally, you react. And then now you find some more shots, you try to throw more shots back at them. So now you in a fight. There is a concept that says win the battle, right? You want to win the battle. Most people want to win just the fight. But if you have a long-term focus, Stephen R. Covey calls it begin with the end in mind. You have to have the end in mind. Wait a minute, what is this we have here? How much do I treasure this relationship? Do I really want to, or do I understand their pain? Sometimes somebody acts completely out of their memory. You're like, yo, that is not you. You're like, bro, that's not that person. That's not the person I know. And the reason why you said that's not the person you know, because it's not. This person is now acting out of their memory, and they're not acting out of their conscious being. So what do you got to do? The law of yielding is about forgiveness. Now, forgive them for they do not know what they're doing. When you say that, what does that mean? That means you recognize that this person is unconscious. We all get unconscious at times, and a lot of us live unconsciously most of the time. So what I'm saying is, put yourself in their shoes rather than getting under their skin and causing them to feel a certain way because they intruded, they gave their snake cell to you, their animal, reptilian brain. Ooh, that's really, really deep. What that means is they're acting out of their fight or flight. They're acting out of their limbic system. They're acting out of their mammalian brain. They're operating out of memory. Boom! Hit you. What do? Breathe in, breathe out. See what's going on. But don't fight it. Like the master teacher Jesus says, but I tell you, my friend, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek. I didn't understand that this was not just turn the other cheek. This was yielding. Some people also think like, yo, if they slap you, this is the law of non-resistance. If you resist the slap, you might hurt your jaw more. But let me tell you a master secret from the masters. If you absorb the slap is less effective. So while we thought Jesus was just saying, oh, the shot's thrown at you, just take them and then just let them hit the other side. No, he was really saying, if they slap the right cheek, turn the other cheek. The effects are less. That's deep. I never said that one before. So boom, less effect. But when you resist, now their kinetic energy has to speed up. Now there is a friction that might affect other parts. You might now hurt your neck, you dislocate your jaw, break your teeth. But if you just absorbed the slap, you would have been safer. If you say so, my friend. Wow, I never thought of that way, but that was a very deep indicate of understanding of that scripture. So turning the other cheek is about the law of non-resistance. Now, what are some leaders that really did this pretty well? Gandhi, Martin Luther King. What they learned is, they learned that if you fight fire with fire, you only add to the fire, you give them a reason to condemn you. The devil tempts you because he wants a reason to condemn you. The devil tempts you because there's a reason to condemn you. When people try to tempt you, they're finding a reason, a flaw to condemn you. If you give into that, then now they're going to find it out of your burst of anger. Now, if somebody tries to wild you up and you give up to the wilding up, you done messed up because you give into their game. They're trying to throw you out of balance by getting you into the polar end of anger. You can't give into the polar end of anger because that gets you out of balance. It makes you weaker. The smarter you are, the more you understand. I don't fight fire with fire. I let the fire flame out, and then I either drop my water and then I spray my fire. You want to be strategic, not in a manipulative way, but an understanding way. The more you whatever you resist will persist. Friction causes more fire. So if the wood is burning, don't throw more wood in it. You get what I'm saying? So when somebody gets acted up, boom, boom, boom. So not just about them. Let's go about you. Let's say you're acting up. It's easy to talk about them, but what about you? How about when in your mind you're overthinking? How about when you're taking a situation and you say, man, I'm really making it bigger than it is? The law of non-resistance is, oh, this is happening. Oh, let me not resist, was it? Oh, how can I be present? That's the law of non-resistance when it comes to us. If we fight ourselves, we're not going to win. Fighting yourself is the ultimate best way to lose. Fighting other people, you end up losing in a way. Because you lose your energy. You gave them your focus. You know how many times on the street a stranger says something? Did you know that the law of non-resistance is acknowledging that this person is hurt? And non-resistance says, I feel for you, but let me go my way. You don't give your time to that hurt person that you never met, you met for the first time. You do your thing, unless you want to give a healing word. But why fight the fire when you understand the fire? Why fight the fire when you feel it, when you know how it feels like to be hurt? Why try to get underneath their skin when you can put yourself in their shoes? So the goal is, oh, this person is hurt. I've been hurt before. I get it. Oh, peace. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Peace be unto you. And you keep walking your way. You keep moving with your life. You keep moving forward. Same thing with you. You know that you fight you all the time. I know because I fought myself. I fought who I really am by who I think I am. I fought with myself. Like I wanted to do that, but I'm like, man, can I really do that? There is a battle within. The law of non-resistance is how you win it. Stop resisting what you want to do. Why do we resist good and we give into evil? And what I mean by that is the goodness within us, a lot of time we're hesitant to put it out, but yet we give in to the chaos, the gossip about our own selves. We really have to put this in perspective. Like the goodness, what we do good, like how many good things have you done? Like some of you are a giver. You help people, you give to people, you give your time, you give your energy, you give a healing, listening ear. You are a giver. But you don't give yourself any credit for being a giver. But as soon as you felt like, man, I feel this is bad to me, man, that somebody did good for you, but you feel like, man, they shouldn't do good for me. Man, you've been doing all this good. They deserve, they need to give you their money. You deserve it. The law of non-resistance says that the good you do shall be given unto you. Let you not do evil, because evil gets reciprocated right away. Good takes some time, but it will last longer. It's like a plant. You sow seeds by giving, you reap the fruits through multiple seasons. Sow evil thought today, I promise you will show up tomorrow. Have you ever been thinking about an accident and you saw one right in front of you? Evil comes right back. It just has a force. I don't know why. It's just faster turnaround. Let me tell you this. Your friend call you, hey, let's go out to the streets at 1 p.m. and let's do some evil, 1 a.m. Let's go rob and steal. That's in the word. Surely 12 hours later, locked up. Evil comes back right away. Sometimes it don't. But when we have not just that type of evil, but when we have that type of thinking, the thinking of negativity, whatever you resist will persist. You say, man, I always drop stuff. I always lose stuff. It's gone. You lost it. So that's why the law of non-resistance is about speaking more positivity to your life. Stop resisting what you don't want, because it will only keep persisting. Stop resisting what you don't want, because it will only keep persisting in your life. So what you have to do is then, you don't resist what you don't want, you focus on what you do. I mean, you heard that 1,000 times. Resistance to the negative is perpetuation of that same negative. Max, I haven't written the book, but I'm writing it right now in the podcast. This is the book right here, transcribed as the book. So you're getting the book in real time. So whatever you resist will persist. So what does that mean? Fear. Oh man, I'm trying not to be scared. I'm trying not to be scared. There's a wall. I'm trying not to be scared. I'm trying not to worry. I'm just trying not to be stressed. I'm resisting. You know what? I will never be fat. I will never be broke. I will never. Come on, how about I claim wealth into my life? How about every single day that I wake up, I eat fruit? Whatever we resist will persist. Now let's go to the thoughts. The resistance against negative thoughts is the sure way of having them persist in your mind. To resist a negative thought is to give it more attention. You pay more extreme attention to what you're resisting. Because the more you try not to be negative in your thinking, the more negative your thinking is. Because you're trying hard to not be negative. Therefore, negativity sprouts out of that thinking. So how do we get more positivity? The law of non-resistance is not just about absorption, but it's about presence. The less you resist, the more presence you have, the more you're able to create within that presence. Without presence, creation is tainted. Without your presence, it's hard to respond because you're going to react out of your memory. Only present living beings respond. When you are living out of memory, you can't respond because you're living out of your memory. You're living out of thoughts, ideas, concepts, beliefs. All these things are coming back up. You're saying stuff that you memorized. Sometimes you rank on somebody, which is just a way of saying you try them, which is another urban way of saying you insult them. As you rank on somebody, some ranks came from 9th grade. As you try somebody, you're like, that's why you ask your mama. When you react, came straight out of your memory. You might say something Lucretia said on Friday. You don't even say that. That ain't even your thing. You don't even say that. You're like, I don't even know where that came from. But you pissed me off. That's reacting out of your memory. Responding needs a certain level of presence. Some of the words that shut people off only come when you're present. Sometimes the conflict resolution only come out of you being present. The more you go in at it in memory, the less you conflict resolute. Sometimes the whole conflict is, I need you to be present, especially for married folks. Man, there's no attention. Give me your attention. But then now you're arguing about the attention, but you didn't realize that that's what it was. But when you're present, you're like, oh, baby, let me give you some loving. You need that good loving, baby. So now you change. But you can't do that acting out of your memory, because guess what? There's a child inside of everybody, and that child is going to act out. That is your memory. How do you have to tap into more of your presence, becoming more of a enlightened being by practicing the power of now. You only do that by cultivating yourself every day, by learning how to be peaceful and present. What's going on, my brother J Luck? The more present you are, your presence is a present to the world. Your presence, not your memory. Your presence. When you walk in a room, people are not so happy because of just like it's your presence. Sometimes you don't even have to explain your past to people. You don't even tell them anything about what you, just because you had a beautiful moment, they just love you in that moment. They don't even know about what happened. They don't know about your baby mama. They don't know about your sister. They don't know about your family history. They don't know about your high school. They don't know about nothing. They don't know about drag. They just know you had a great time. They just know you were presently a pleasing character. Presence is the best gift you can give. The Art of Communication is the book we're going to be reading in the tribe starting next week. It's about giving the gift of your presence. The art of communication starts with knowing that communication is a way of feeding each other. And when we talk about how can I help you suffer less when we're talking, instead of how can I protect myself from suffering, then we are living as conscious beings. And Thich Nhat Hanh explains this really well. He explains that in a great way. And that way he explains it, says, consciousness is in your ability to give. Consciousness is in your ability to give a gift to the other person. And by that, I truly believe that he meant this. He meant that consciousness is not about your ability to defend. It's about your ability to give. It's about your ability to add value. Being conscious, being enlightened, having enlightened relationships. Having a relationship where there is a reciprocity in it is about saying this: how can I be a blessing to my partner today? That's what he said consciousness is about. And that is deep. It's like, how can I help this person suffer less? Because sometimes somebody expresses anger, but it's a call for love. The liver acts outward anger, but it's just trying to balance out the heart. The liver is acting out of anger, but it's just trying to balance out the heart. So when you're like, baby, you just need some love, and touch her right liver, her right side, or his right side, and rub it very kindly, and send some good intention on the waist. That touch is a touch of love from the palm, the Lao gong, sending chi from the palm. Love. I love you. You know what? I'm listening to you. I hear you. I hear you. I'm listening to you. I love you. Yo, that is the law of non-resistance. When we practice that as much as we can. Now, I claim to practice it all the time. You get robbed by your own mind. We all do. I catch myself getting robbed. Usually within the first 75% of a transaction that I'm robbed, the last 25% is transformed. I can pat myself on the back to say that after been doing the work that I've been able to get at this moment. And here's what I mean. I started off, this lady called me and he's like, well, yeah, I saw that you went on our website and you were looking for dirt. I was like, yeah, I did, but I figured out you guys made me do a whole profile and y'all real dirt company, whatever. I don't think y'all do this, so I don't think I need your service. I'm about to hang up. And I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh, let me listen. She was like, yeah, but let me explain. And I was like, you know what? Let me listen. Boom. I became conscious. Because at first I never listened. Wait, my phone is all off. I'm like, get my phone together. But yeah, this is my phone right here. So I'm like, oh, this is how you do it. Let me become conscious. Boom. Let me be conscious in this situation. So I was like, okay. She's like, well, we connect you with other companies. We have a company in your area that could drop dirt for your garden, the holistic motivator. I was like, I'm sorry to assume I just made an ass out of you and me. Because I just assumed that this lady couldn't help me. Because I was living out of my memory or what I thought about the website when I wasn't on the website. But she literally had the solution. But for 1 second there, I stopped and I said, let me listen. At that moment, I heard and I got what I needed. When you stop and you say, let me listen, you will hear and you will get the nutrition that you need. But when you start talking against, defending yourself, you're not practicing the law of non-resistance. You're resisting with your words. It's an ego against ego. Spirits come together in the light, egos clash together in the dark. Spirits come together and enlighten. Egos clash together and it breaks you down. Bring men and women in a room full of egos and see what happens. That room will become so toxic. We all have egos, but I'm saying inflated egos. Why am I still at the phone up? Who am I talking to? God, Jesus Christ. Oh, please download all these messages, okay? Let's bless the people. So you put a lot of egoic, inflated egos in a room. Everybody's fighting against each other. I need to be right, you're wrong. I need to be right, you're wrong. I am the greatest. I am better than you. Do you see my trophies? You put a bunch of enlightened spirits together they are totally wrong. This is the way, how can we add to this bucket? It's almost like when you put enlightened beings together, it all becomes one against the cause. Like we fight for a cause. But when each is separate, we're only fighting for our own cause. So now we're causing more fights. Damn, that's deep. When you only fight for your own cause, you're causing more fights. Fight for the cause of enlightenment. This is what I mean. Everybody in the world has a fight that they have. Everybody have self-interest. These companies have self-interest. And everybody is fighting for their own cause. And I'm not bashing them. Some of these causes are good. But the collective cause is feed the souls of human beings. But guess what? It's not that way. Some people just feed the pockets of my bank account. When we all come together as spiritual beings, we fight for the cause of spiritual enlightenment. When we come to our egoic beings, we fight for the cause of what we identified as. What I want to keep active in the world, the ideas, the concepts, my face, who I perceive myself to be, what I believe in, what I want other people to live by is the ego in the world. And as you perpetuate the ego in everybody, you don't give people a chance to be themselves. So you're not having a potluck, you're having a program. And everybody have to just follow along with your program. So it's your way or the highway. So you're wondering why you're not having a drum circle. Well, that's because you only set up a speech. You're wondering why there's no community. Well, that's because it's only about you. When we learn how to feed each other and we don't fight against each other, clash, egos, I'm this, you're that. When we are powerful beings, we are sentient beings, we are enlightened beings. Let's come together and grow. That transforms your life, man. When the egos don't clash, the spirits come together and it creates a new universe. Some stars clash and burn. Some stars merge, become bigger, form a bigger bright light. That is literally a astrology. This is how it works. Same thing, you are a star. Some stars that move all randomly and they're out of their gravitational pull, they're out of balance, they clash into other stars. But the stars that they go along with nature, they practice the law of non-resistance. They go with the flows. They travel along the pathways that the Lord set for them. Those stars, they don't clash. Sometimes they come together, they shine brighter. You see that? The egos are like stars that are out of the path. They went and chose a different path. Now they all wild up and they clash and burn. Some stars, they clash and consume. They are dark holes. They became an inverted star. They pull stuff in, they suck the life out of them. Please don't be that star. You suck the life out of people. You know, don't do that. Don't be a life sucker. Life sucker. Life sucker. What comedian said life sucker? Don't be no life sucker, okay? A life sucker, don't be a black hole. I had this dope line in the book. There is the dark hole, there's the dark hole, is it called dark hole again? Black hole, dark hole of whatever. You read it in the book, some quotes. Yeah, it was pretty fire quote. Anyways. Yeah, it's pretty fire. But anyways, some stars clash together. This will be in the book. Some stars clash together. Some stars come together. Be that star that comes. Alright, that is my message. And I am sticking to it, my friends. The law of non-resistance. The law of non-resistance. Whatever you resist will persist. So don't resist nothing. Resist nothing. And once again, like the master teacher, Jesus said, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn them the other cheek. Okay? And I said, absorb. This diminishes the slap. It doesn't mean that you take the slap and then you're like, oh, hit me again. No. Turn the cheek. Absorb the slap. Leave. Somebody slap you in the face with words all the time, right? I meet those people. Some of those people, they just word slappers. You ever met a word slapper? They just have like words in their pocket. It's like the slap thing. They're like, oh, you know what? I got 10 slaps for you. I'm about to make your face dirty. They try to make your face dirty. And how do they do that? They got the strategy. They take some memories and they're like, let me slap this person in the face with it. Bam! Like, remember when you store anger in your pocket. This is some real deep stuff, right? The anger is stored in the piriformis muscle, right somewhere along the groin. So literally, people take their anger out from their pockets and they stored that. It's just like they was waiting. And then they take that, they spit on it, he slap you. And you're like, that's beyond me. You disrespectful. You're like, so now you're like, I got something for you. Okay. What you got this for? You tripping. Okay. So you're like, that's your goal. So you reach back in your pocket. You're like, you know what? I got anger too. So you're like, you gonna slap me with your anger, and you gonna spit on it too. So you get in your pocket, you reach, you grab some of that stored anger, and you're like, damn. And then like, damn, your shoulders start hurting. Your shoulder houses anxiety, cause now you're anxious, cause like you're like, dang, I just slapped them. We about to fight. I haven't fought in 20 years. What am I gonna do? And you're like, oh crap, they got a gun. Sometimes when somebody take their hand out their pockets and they slap you, you take your hand out your pocket and you slap them, they might take their hand from their pocket and grab a gun. Then you're like, oh. So people have different weapons. So the law of non-resistance is learn how to duck the slap and say, you know what, I'll catch you later. You know, I reserve that for him, not me. I don't want that slap. You can keep that one. I'm good. It's not soft. It's smart. Yield. You ever been driving and it was like, please yield? Okay, a car's coming at you. A car's running straight at you. What you gonna do? Well, you know, Ed, I don't take with nobody. I'm gonna go straight at it. That's right. Good luck. Father God, please bless their soul. It was a pleasure being with you. 7 o'clock news. 12 o'clock today, a person ran straight, dead in an accident, didn't yield, went straight towards the car that was going towards them because they wanted to show how hard they are. Casualty. Unfortunate. But this is just a way of saying, if a car's coming right at you, move out the way. Move out the way, y'all. Don't let the car hit you. Trying to say, man, they should have yielded. They had the yield sign. Forget it. Listen, forget if they had the yield sign or not. Yield for your life, not for the sign. I could go all day. But that's my message, and I'm sticking to it. So you got the unlimited power in you to bring peace into your body. You have the unlimited power in you to not let the things persist by not resisting. And until you tap into that power, your presence will not be a present, it'll be a burden because there's too much chaos whenever you're fighting against. So learn how to be like water, my friend, and let it flow. Let it go so you can grow. Let go your ego. Let go your ego. Let go your ego. Acting up is for kids. Tricks are for kids. Let go your ego. Ego trips are for kids. Peace. That is funny, isn't it?